when they had the original cartoon series, there were obviously censorship requirements because it was a kids show. 2001 Fox show, there were some characters they couldn't have in because of licensing.
Right.
There's a way in which this series feels like it's the show that Ben's always wanted to make in terms of the tone and the arc of the story being a lot more intricate than anything that's come prior.
I think he would tell you as much. I mean, it's not even in a way. It's like, he's had a hand in every iteration of these characters, but this is the largest hand he's had in there, And we're in a very different TV climate, and the sort of parameters of what you can do with a TV show have expanded, and the rules about what you can't do on a TV show have fallen by the wayside. And Amazon, their whole sort of Prime Video thing is really based on creatively getting creators with ideas they like and giving them a lot of freedom and support to do what they showed up to do. Whereas a lot of times with American network TV, they tell you they love your idea, and then the second you start working on it, they go, but actually, can we get rid of that thing and this thing and that, So just through a bunch of circumstances, and I think also Ben, at this point, having so much experience in TV writing and working on so many different types of shows, came back to the table and said, I know exactly what kind of version I would want to make now, if you want to let me make it.
And he assembled a bit of a dream team in terms of the directors he's got for the episodes. Wally doing the first 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. I mean, talk about a little bit of a Dark Knight kind of take on itself. And that was one thing when I first heard about the series. I was like, oh, they got Wally doing it, and then they're going to make this really too dark. They're going to lose the satirical edge, but it doesn't at all.
No, and I think you sort of have to. The Tick has always been in dialogue with whatever's going on in mainstream superhero culture at the time. I always say it's like a funhouse mirror that Ben's holding up to whatever the sort of standard tropes are of superhero storytelling at that time. And the aesthetics in superhero movies and TV shows are very different now than they were before, Are
there any that you've been keeping up on? Have you been watching all those Marvel
I'm
Netflix
a little behind,
series?
But I have a pretty good, I see all the movies. I'm more of a movie guy than a TV guy, just in general, in terms of artistic mediums. Probably because I have commitment issues. It's easier for me to just go somewhere and indulge in something for 2 hours rather than I got to watch this again.
It's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment.
20 of them with 50 episodes.
And every single conversation you have with someone, they go, "Oh my God, you haven't seen this? You got to watch this." And I go, "I don't need to watch all of it." There are 10,000 different shows premiering every week that are each 12-hour-long episodes. I definitely, I try to stay in touch with everything that's going on in that sort of world. And I do think, just sort of the visual language of those shows has changed so much that if you're going to successfully satirize them, you have to be operating at their same level. So if you want to get comedy out of placing the Tick and Arthur in a slightly more realistic setting, the best way to do that is to hire the guy who made the images that you're parodying, rather than trying to do some sort of lame cartoon, emulation of it.
And when you talk about the parodies of superheroes, can we expect kind of references to these ridiculous universes that now exist in popular culture in the same way that we had Batmanuel and people like that?
Sure. I think we, in this season at least, stay away from sort of very direct one-to-one kind of, this is an analog for this character, this is a takeoff on this specific thing. I think he's more interested in the way that these kind of characters exist and the kind of mythologies they bring with them and their stories and all of that in terms of this iteration of the Tick. But I think there's a lot of, I think really smart sort of satirization of these storytelling arcs, that we're so used to, how they all kind of follow these very similar formulas. And when you place unconventional, unexpected, ill-fitting characters into those same circumstances, the comedy comes out of just that juxtaposition.
That is something that differs from the other 2 series, is that there are these arcs and there are these detailed
it's far
character
more
analyses.
Serialized. Right. Yeah. Which I think, was, Ben, to his credit, it would be very easy to just, there's such a big reboot culture now You know, anything that was big that has a following, why not just do it again and just give people more of what they liked? Hit that nostalgia button. You know, we're getting to this era now where, like, you're rebooting shows that got canceled 2 years ago, and it's like, so 2 years ago you thought the following wasn't big enough to keep it on the air, but now the following is strong enough to bring it back a second time, because it's almost like what people are responding to is the sort of return, you know, the comfort food of we're back again sort of thing. And Ben doesn't do that. I mean, he wants to make shows that people enjoy, obviously. He wants to make shows that people who are fans of The Tick and the whole history of the characters will respond to. But if he's going to do it again, he wants to do something different. He wants to come to the table with something different to say. So A, superhero culture has changed around us. It's become so much larger. There's so much more to talk about that he's going to make the show that references all of the newer developments rather than just kind of regurgitate the same plot lines he's done before. But also, I think the big challenge he threw into this series was, can I make a Tick that has emotional stakes in it? You know? It's always sort of been a comedy above all else. And can I have my cake and eat it too? Can I have that sort of absurdism, but also have action sequences that are exciting and character arcs that are emotional and make you actually root for these people and care about them and hope that they don't die, you know? Because Arthur certainly, especially, is teetering right on that edge of staying alive or not.
From the first scene.
Yeah, truly, yeah.